let's get started. So we have a couple of guests. So Hobson is a guest. And yes, it begins with R for those of you who came late. It looks like Robson, but it's Hobson. He actually is, wait a minute. I'm not sure if you put a listing in yet. Once you put a listing in, you become a member. So I don't think I saw the listing, so it's still pending, but not much to do to get there. Newton, I think, is here for the first time. Mark, Iorio is here again, and it's been a while. Jeremy, it's been a little bit of a while. Everybody else is on and off a couple times a month, which is great. Love to see all of you. But for those who are new, this is the weekly meeting of the Trusted Referral Network. We are independent marketing services providers for the most part. Outside of that, it would be advertising, which I guess is part of marketing, and sales services. And the idea here is to build a network where we can refer business to one another, partner with one another where there are such opportunities. And at some point, the website hopefully will be a resource for people who are buying services. But I won't go that far yet to say that it is. It is, but nobody's going to find it until I start doing some SEO. But so the website right now is a directory for communicating with each other, finding each other, and helping each other out where that's possible. So in these meetings, when we have a showcase, so we do invite people to do a showcase. We give them 15 minutes to go deep into what they do, so the other members can better understand exactly what they do and who they serve and what makes them different. And there's a sign-up sheet for that. It's in the newsletter. The link is in the newsletter, but I will put it here as well. Give me a second. TRN events. So it's the, something's wrong with it. Something's wrong with my sign-up zone. Try it again. No. All right. It's in the newsletter. You'll find it. For some reason, it's not, doesn't seem to be working right now. Or you can just contact me if you want to sign up. We have lots of openings. The next, there is somebody who's scheduled for next week. That's Henning. But after that, it's wide open. And then I do record all of these meetings, so people can go back and you could share that with people if they want. If you want to, if you've done a showcase and want to share it with people, you can certainly do that. And then, of course, we do introductions. Give each person about 2 to 3 minutes so they can delve a little bit into what they do, how they can help other people, what makes them unique, how they stand out, and maybe give examples of the types of work they've done or are doing, and anything else that they think is relevant and memorable. I think the idea is learn about some other people in the group to see who you might want to connect with one-on-one. And if you put your LinkedIn in the chat, that'll make it easier for everyone to connect with you. Otherwise, if you just jot down the name of the company, then you should be able to find them on trustref.net. So I will go around, let's see. So in order in which people showed up, I'm going to put in the chat the order in which folks showed up. So Rochelle, Stacey, Hobson, and then David. I'll provide, let's say about, I think we do 3 minutes. I'll put up my, you'll hear it, but I'll put this up, my phone up when it rings. And I will also put the system in speaker mode so that the person who was speaking is highlighted. So if everybody else would go on mute, that will prevent it from switching. So Rochelle, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I can. I'd love to. So it's Rochelle from Dynamic Business Growth. And I always say it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along business growth. So one of the areas that I think where I do a lot of my best work is companies have a really rough time speaking about what they do in a what I call a compelling way. I find that companies put a size 10 foot of information into a size 6 shoe. And it basically leaves me uninterested. Now, the other thing that I find very often is somebody would say, my name is John Smith. I'm working in Midtown Manhattan. I'm doing this for 30 years and I couldn't care less. So when you talk about your business, I want to know, are you storytelling or boring telling? Did you tell me a dynamic story that based on that story, I understand your expertise and I understand your high level thinking? And I like people to think about, how did you pull a rabbit out of a hat? So when you tell me that story, I will, I'll remember it. And then it really positions you as the clear and only choice. So speaking, creating these dynamic stories and helping people speak about their business is just a small fraction of what I do, but it's what I focus on over here because that's under the marketing umbrella. I'll give you a tiny example. I worked with a nutritionist ages ago, and when she spoke about her business, she started off saying, what her name was. And she says, I work with people to be gluten-free, sugar-free. And she had a laundry list. And the only thing she left on the list was she allows people water and air. I mean, I never saw anything like that. And she was, curious why people weren't interested in working with her. I mean, she sounded like the Gestapo of nutritionists. So I kind of rearranged what she said. And I said, what you do, her target market is women. I say, what you do is you help women win the war of pizza and Haagen-Dazs. That's what you do. And you have women go from bloomers to bikinis. So after we changed what she said, I can't tell you how her practice, was filled. I mean, people really got to see, what does she do? It's really important to do this if you're in an industry that's common, like IT, like any industry where there's a lot of competition. You want to tell me something that's going to make you stick versus, one of the gazillions in your industry. So that's what I just wanted to say. I have been working on this for quite a while, but due to several reasons, I've had to delay it, but God willing, fingers crossed with the Lord's Prayer, I'll be doing a program in February called the Ultimate Power Pitch. It's going to be a group program. So if anybody here is interested in finding out more about it, please just touch base with me and we'll see if it would be a good fit for you. So that's what I have to say. Any other questions, just kind of reach out to me.
Thank you. Perfect timing. Did you put a clock on?
That was yay me.
All right. And Rajiv joined, but Stacey Mathis is next, then Hobson, and then David Libby. So Stacey, take it away.
Hi. So as you can see, my name is Stacey Mathis, and I own a website called Legal Copywriting Central. And we focus, as the name says, solely on the legal industry. Our audience includes our client base, attorneys and people who send to vendors who work with attorneys or who provide services and products for attorneys, like case management systems, various app programs that lawyers use. It could be services that provide services to their clients, forensic services, anyone in the legal industry. And basically what we try to do is we try to create messaging that is bespoke and messaging that aligns with the brand and the personality or the collective personality of the attorneys at the firm. And if they don't know what their brand is, because a lot of them don't, or they don't really understand that concept, we dig and we do a deep dive and we find their brand for them. And it's authentic and it represents who they actually are, not somebody where the wool is where the mask is going to fall off after, 3 visits with a client. So we try to take what's, who they really are and sort of bottle that and and put it out there, and it can be on their LinkedIn page and through their website or offline copy. We do can be billboards or scripts for video, anything that they use, any wording, any messaging that they use to promote their services. We create that the copy for that, and that's pretty much it. Stacey of Legal Copywriting Central. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. I like the concept of helping lawyers find their brand. I'm sure that's not something they're used to doing.
Yeah, certainly true.
All right. So if anybody knows a lawyer who could use help with defining who they are and making clear on their website in particular how they differentiate themselves, Stacey is the place to go. And it is, what is it? Legal Copywriting Central?
Yes.
Legal Copywriting Central. Okay, great. All right, Robson.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robson Teles, and I'm here on behalf of Stephen Bradford, and we both work for Agent Digital, which is a branding website and SEO studio based here in Manhattan. We focus on professional services such as legal, finance, technology, insurance, and so forth. The branding part of it, it is pretty much visual brand. We design the logo with business card, collateral material, and then we move into the website. We do have copywriters and staff. We design in-house and help them out with whatever they need digitally. And then we move on to SEO, which we do SEO and local SEO case needed. So that's pretty much it. And if you guys have any questions, just let us know and we'll be glad to answer any question when we have. Thank you.
And you're based in New York and your partner is Stephen.
We are both based in New York, yeah.
Right,
Stephen
Stephen Redford.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And so you said professional services, accountants, lawyers,
Yeah.
financial services.
Legal, financial, technology, insurance, and many others, but those are the ones that we like to focus the most. Primarily of our clients are.
And my understanding from speaking with Stephen, most of your websites are Squarespace websites?
Yes, most of them are. If they request any other platform, we will do, but we have a very good relationship with Squarespace. Squarespace works very closely with Google, so it is very easy to do, set up the Google suite for them and do anything that they need with the Squarespace and Google as well, which is such a wonderful platform. So
great. And Robson, I detect an accent. Where are you from originally?
Yes, I'm from Brazil, born and raised in Brazil. Then I moved here to go to school, and here I am. A few good decades later.
A few good decades later. Well, great to have you. Where is Sao Paulo or Rio or somewhere
No,
else?
Recife, the northeast of Brazil. But I do have family in both Rio and Sao Paulo. As a matter of fact, I just got back from Brazil yesterday. I'm still, trying to get into the mood of the cold weather.
Cold weather, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, welcome.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you. And if Stephen can't make it, we'd love to have you. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Representing the company. Okay, David, Libby, then Jeremy, then Mark.
Thanks, Michael. Rochelle, gosh, telling a story, maybe just wake up. All right, so I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to tell you my story. So I was recruited up to the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area in 1998 to work with Steve Jobs and Pixar. And I had a big publicity, big celebrity background. We launched A Bug's Life and Toy Story 2 together, and then changed the narrative of the production company Pixar to look like a studio, and they got acquired by Disney. And after that, I thought, wow, changing the narrative really is a big deal. I can actually help other startups accelerate to their exits. And one by one, we started to work with other startups, B2B tech startups primarily, from SEO in those days now to artificial intelligence and big data and business automation and you name it, cloud computing, and now helping and have helped many startups get accelerated to their exits by using public relations, social media marketing, and marketing strategy and content to help them align their marketing objectives with their business goals. So it's always great to be here. Michael, thanks for hosting this.
Of course. Any other specific startups you want to brag about? Didn't you sell somebody to Google recently? Or not
We
you
did.
personally?
Yeah. Well, I'd say a year or so ago, we sold Cloud Simple to Google. It was a pretty phenomenal experience. The CTO came up to me and told me that the PR did not actually, make the sale. And no, it didn't, but it certainly helped position the company as a threat between Microsoft and Google. So, between the two of them, Google acquired the company. And then just this year, CMD was acquired by Elastic. And really fun. It's really exciting to work with startups, entrepreneurs that they just have a goal. And, it's just like, what can we do to get them to that goal? It's really a fun process.
Take any payment in equity? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, good question. Only once in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And it was because the CEO or co-founder is a very famous internet legend. And so I just felt like, to get a chance to work with him and to see how he works and how he thinks and to be inside a business like that would be a different experience for me and help me with other clients.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much. And David is out in Orinda, if I remember correctly, which is now.
Right.
So, okay, Orinda, just on the other side of the tunnel from Oakland.
Yep, just like 10 minutes east of San Francisco.
East of San Francisco, east of Oakland.
It's all east of San Francisco, east of Oakland. Yeah.
Okay.
Because it goes San Francisco. Well, it doesn't look right here. San Francisco, Oakland. And then there's 12 more cities that no one knows about. We're the first of the 12.
First of the 12 unknown cities. Okay.
That's right.
I'll remember that.
Unknown California cities. He feels great right now.
It is. I'll tell you, it is usually in the mid 30s in the morning here, which is really weird for the Bay Area, and it's 104 degrees in the summer.
Yeah.
So we're in the east. It's called the Outer East Bay. But.
Right. All right, Jeremy Woolf from down in Austin.
Well, yeah, kind of. I've been here about 6 months. I grew up in New Zealand, which is where my accent was born. It was then distorted in Australia and further distorted in Hong Kong and then in New Jersey. So that's the route that gets me here. My background is a bit like David's, actually, in public relations. Is what I grew up in for B2B technology companies. Over the past couple of years, I've set up my own consultancy as a brand, what's really become a brand strategy consultancy, as well as a content marketing group. The consultancy is me. So I'm on the hunt for new business, as we sole traders often are. The core of the business is to help B2B technology companies with a really good product or service find their voices and audiences. And I've been doing that for a number of companies. Business intelligence company is my biggest client, and I took them from a company with a really very clever BI solution through a brand matrix. So we established their mission, vision, values, purpose, their core messaging, ran through the launch, and now I'm helping them with ongoing thought leadership as they evolve their platform. Also working for FinTech, a dental technology company. And I've done IT services rebranding work as well. So it's been a very interesting transition. I'm here in Austin, Texas, really because I got tired of the winters in New Jersey. And over COVID, I proved to myself, I guess, that I don't need to be on a train line to Manhattan and pay for the privilege. And so I've got a new little home down here and getting to know people like Newton down there and be part of the Austin community, which is something I'm really enjoying. So I guess if I have an ask for this group, it would be if anyone knows a B2B tech, either startup, mid-sized, large company that needs help in its brand positioning and or core messaging, I'd love to have a conversation.
Great. Well, there's certainly a lot of B2B and tech specialists here. So definitely connect with David and other folks. I mean, some of your work, I don't know, some of your work may overlap, but I think you've got a Yeah, that's always the case, I think, in
Yeah.
groups like this. But I think there's more opportunities to collaborate than you might otherwise think. Yeah, well, thank you. And what happened to your arm?
Oh, I think it was actually a spider bite.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Didn't give you any superpowers, though. Not that you know
well, if you call a grossly inflamed elbow a superpower, then yeah.
of.
No, I don't know. I think it was a spider bite that just came back from the urgent care, and yeah, the bursa is inflamed, and they've wrapped it and take antibiotics, and hopefully it goes away. So yeah, it's not an exciting story. I wish it was. You should see the other guy, but no.
No such story. Okay, Mark from Iorio, then Ken, then Newton, then Rajiv, who joined late.
Michael,
Go ahead,
thank
Mark.
you. I appreciate you hosting as always, and I apologize for not being on for the last few months. It's I have a couple television shows, and there's always a conflict on the days that the Trusted Resource Network is together. So, but I appreciate it. Rochelle, nice to see you again. I have a partner and I have a company called BCAT Partners. We have a branding. It's called a brand and culture alignment toolkit. And basically it's a cognitive tool that we designed. It's proprietary. It's an instrument that has a series of exercises in it that are word associations. So we start the exercise by asking a group or a team or an organization of any size to imagine their company, their entire organization, as though it were a single person doing its best work on its best day, delivering on all of its promises and achieving all of its goals. What does that look like? And the cognitive part is that in our frontal cortex, when you start to imagine words, that quadrants start to light up. If it's either innovation or harmony or precision, or just like DISC, but more for a company. And then we gather those results and get an average, which doesn't mean a lot. We get into a room and we crowdsource where the organization wants to go. And we end up with a number of attributes that fall out of that, behaviors, aligned inspirations, commandments, whatever you want to call it, codes of conduct that everyone follows. We then hand those 10 or 12 out to everyone in the organization and ask them to do 2 or 3 or commit to doing 2 or 3 things every day that get them closer to that North Star, whatever that North Star is. Behavioral changes that everyone can observe. And it's an amazing process. Out spits a brand positioning statement so that everything can be followed by that language. And you see the culture of the organization and the brand of the organization become more aligned over time. We've done about 11,000 of these in the last decade, and we try to focus on financial services, nonprofits, and educational institutes. But obviously, when you run into organizations, most companies have a culture that they need to align. So it could be anyone. So that's kind of it.
Any
Yes, ma'am.
11,000 is a lot.
Yeah, we've
That's
done
like 1,000 a
11,000.
year.
What size company is your sweet spot? How many people between what and what?
We try, Rochelle, between to stick between about 20 and about 500, but we've done companies smaller than that, and we're working with a college right now that's an absolute pain in the backside. They have 910 employees. So it varies. I mean, we've done divisions of HBO, NBC Universal.
Put your info in the chat. I would love to talk to you because there's something that we both do that could be an alliance.
Yes, it's in there. I think it's in right
Yeah, if
below.
you look about Iorio,
Robson.
yeah, and also if you look under BCAT, BCAT.
Yeah, getbcat.com.
Yeah.
GETBCAT.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you. Ken, then Newton, then Rajiv.
Hi, good evening, whatever. Yeah, if I start slurring my words, I just had dental surgery this morning, so I'm still recovering. and my ice pack is now cold, is now warm, so I can't ice my jaw. I'm Ken Simon. I KBS Marketing. I work with small and mid-sized companies, helping them understand who their customers are, what their needs are, and then develop strategies for them to use to grow their business. I work with B2B companies in the technology. Usually I work with B2B companies in the technology, manufacturing, and financial services space. And they've ranged anywhere from startups to, Fortune 50 companies that I've worked with. But lately I've been working with companies.
Oops, you cut out. Did you cut out? Ken, you cut out.
I cut out.
Yeah, now you're back.
That's strange. Where did I lose everybody?
A minute ago, less than a minute, 30 seconds ago. Mostly you work with companies.
I work with companies between like startups to Fortune 50 companies, and in the financial services, technology, and whatever and service industry space. But now I'm working with a rocket company that's actually raising capital to launch rockets in Australia, and a restaurant recommendation company, and that has a different take and is going after Yelp and Grubhub, and another startup that's in the B2B space that's in the email security area. I do have a question for people though, because I'm helping them, one company with a website, and they don't have a privacy statement or terms of conditions. And I guess my one question is, do those have to be written by a lawyer, or, I mean, is it a good idea to have a lawyer write it, or can we just generate it ourselves?
Well, I will say that a lawyer friend of mine told me that you could, the right answer is have a lawyer write it out, but he did say that you could essentially leverage the privacy statement from Amazon, since it's perhaps the most researched and vetted, and kind of start there and just change the name from Amazon whatever to just kind of
That's what I was going to do, but I just was, but I just wanted to know, because I mean, otherwise I'll go to a couple of websites and grab stuff off websites, but I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that. And obviously if you go to the bigger companies, they're going to be longer privacy statements. But and you can probably cut it down and cut out all the irrelevant stuff. Thank you. And Ken's based here in North Central Jersey, right near where I am.
Yep.
All right. Newton, first time here, and also based in Austin.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks, Michael, for having me. It's nice to be here and to meet all of you, and to hear a bit about all of what you do. And it's really interesting to hear about all of your experiences as well. So yeah, in terms of what we do, so we've noticed that during COVID, obviously it's impacted a lot of local businesses, and one of the biggest part is that it's tough for a lot of them to get new customers without being in person, right? So there's been a huge shift towards getting customers online. And I mean, the biggest question is, hey, where do most people go to find companies when they don't know them? And most of the time that's Google, right? So my team and I at ePropel, we help local businesses to increase their website visitors by at least 110% and to consistently attract customers organically. And so in terms of some of the companies that we've helped with, we do a lot of work in the cannabis dispensary space, but we also do help a number of other local businesses as well. So from roofing to insurance to e-commerce, you name it, we've probably done it. And so I guess my ask and give today is, if you know any local businesses that are interested in growing their website sales organically, I do have a free training video on the 3 steps on how to get consistent website sales that I can send over to them, and also happy to give a referral bonus as well. And besides that, happy to help this group in any way I can, and it's great to be here.
Thank you. And I will add that I met Newton through another member, Joe Petruzzi, who has essentially an email marketing service. And Newton has had great success. Do you want to talk a little bit about your success with that program?
Yeah, sure. I guess we scaled our marketing agency to multi-six figures mostly through cold outreach. So, starting out, I didn't know that many people, and so we've mostly leveraged cold outreach to get the clients that we have today. So mostly from cold email, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. We've gotten clients from all of those channels. So that's also one part that I'm pretty good at.
Yep. Yeah. And so he's was nice enough to coach me a little bit about how I can use cold email outreach for building this group. And I'm still working on finding the right virtual assistant to help me with personalized email messages, and potentially using some AI for that as well, or some tools for that. And yeah, so right now, Newton tells me that he's done amazing work, in particular with cannabis dispensaries. So if you know anybody have a favorite cannabis dispensary that you think could use more business, Newton's the guy to talk to.
Reach out to me. I might have some interest. I might have somebody you to talk to. So now the other thing is, when you do local, is it only in Texas? I mean, only in Austin, or do you do anything, do you do this work across the country?
Yeah, across the country. So we have clients in across the US, across Canada, even in like Australia as well. So pretty much anywhere.
Local meaning it's a locally driven business. So
yeah, locally driven business.
Retail.
Yeah.
Or right. Okay. Thank you. Let's see. Rajiv,
Talk
you're
to
up.
me about the cannabis thing. I might have a lead for you.
Right,
okay,
so
perfect.
Definitely.
Thanks,
connect.
Rochelle. We'll be in touch.
Okay, hi everyone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year from New York. My name is Rajiv Jadhav. I work for R Square Media. We're an award-winning online visibility and reputation management company that helps clients be seen or not be seen online. The be seen part is being seen prominently on Google, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, whatever the platform of choice is. And then the not be seen part of it is essentially getting stuff deleted. Yes, you heard me, deleted. Getting stuff deleted from Google. And that includes bad press, bad reviews, misinformation, and also private information. This is a true story. So a client reached out saying that she was about to get this job that she was applied for many months for, went through the interview, several rounds of interview, got an offer, high six-figure offer, and then it was retracted because they thought she was a criminal, because when they Googled her, someone else showed up that is a criminal or had a criminal background. And same first name, looked similar to her. They were both blonde, but different last name. And then she wanted that link to be removed from her Google search. And that's what we did. And we did it successfully, rather fast as well. We did it in about 40 days. And the reason why we do this is because sometimes people feel numb and powerless when there's something online, thinking that that's forever. Well, I'm here to proclaim the good news that it's not forever, at least not if we have something to do about it. And we can get all that junk off of your Google. And we have a performance guarantee, so it's completely risk-free. If we're not able to help the client in our forecasted time frame, they get their money back, no questions asked. And this way, it's like very transparent and it's very time-based. So it's, and we've had a lot of success. We have about 85% success rate of getting the link deleted in the first attempt. And by that, I mean, if the first attempt does not work, then we try another approach and then we're able to get it gone. But that's typically what we do. And if the link for whatever reason cannot be deleted because of a Google policy, then we essentially relocate the link from wherever it is, which is page 1 to page 4 or page 5, where very few people go. And of course, that's an outcome that we discuss with the client if that is acceptable to them. And if it is, then that's what we do. And as far as we're also able to help clients by preventing future crisis on Google as well. So in fact, that's what we use catchy names. So that's what we call force field. And the deleting service is called Bazooka. So that's my time, and thank you all for your attention.
Thank you. I love the name, Bazooka.
Yeah, thank you.
You can definitely
Great
feel
name.
the power behind that one.
Rajiv,
All right.
do you help business coaches?
Yeah, we help everyone.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I know some business coaches that might need your help getting rid of some bad links.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to help. Happy to help. In
Yeah, we'll
fact,
be in
That's the
touch.
whole idea. Yeah. Rajiv is my go-to for, people that need, it's reputation management issues. He also does SEO, but what stands out is that unique, capability of getting bad links deleted or buried. It's a real specialty. All right. I will go. Let me give myself 3 minutes. So again, thank you everybody for coming. My name is Michael Bendit. My company is called Software Development Resources. And as the name implies, that's what I provide. I do it by representing about 10 different software development teams. And so I don't do any coding. People come to me, as Rochelle said, when they need it to have a rabbit pulled out of the hat, and they need it to be black, and they need it to be long, and whatever it happens to be, because I listen to what kind of rabbit they need before I tell them, this is the right team for you. And so that's how I pull the rabbit out of the hat. People have different requirements depending on the complexity of the project. Software is a very big space. So different platforms are better for different types of applications. And then different teams have skills on these different platforms. So we do a lot of work in the open source world because we tend to work with smaller companies. And so open source, it doesn't charge there's no license fee for open source software. We also do work with software as a service platforms such as Shopify. Those tend to be also rather inexpensive. And they're growing. So there's more and more developers that can work in Shopify. WordPress is another big platform. We also have teams that do build on mobile applications, of course, and then other types of e-commerce sites. And then I have some niche teams that do really niche things like blockchain or big data. I have a team that does 3D rendering, which is, of course, a visual thing. So my best leads actually happen to be digital marketing agencies that may do some of their own web development, but sometimes they run into an opportunity they'd like to take on, but for some reason, it's the wrong platform, or they just don't have enough people in-house to do the work. And so they come to me and they say, Michael, do you have a team that does XYZ that has availability? And so I have a handful of those types of relationships, those agency relationships that keep on generating business for me, because the teams that I've set them up with, do the right thing. They work well, and they're also cost effective. Do you have a question, Rochelle? You have to unmute.
Are you doing any work with the NFT platforms?
I do have teams that definitely work with NFT platforms. Those are blockchain.
Couple things. Are you friendly with anybody in people within EO?
Maybe, but not. I know a couple people in EO, yeah.
You should really be talking to them, because a lot of these people are going into like the NFT space. They're doing a lot of crazy new stuff. And I think that if you speak, technology, needless to say, is not my forte. You're speaking like Swahili right now. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. So my thought is, if you speak to people that are in EO, they're really entrenched in that space. So I don't know if you've got somebody there, they're going into blockchain. They say, they're looking at blockchain and NFT as if they're singing God Bless America Land that I love. And if they don't know that they can go to somebody very easily that can navigate this for them, I think it's a really good opportunity for you to position yourself with somebody in EO.
Thank you. Yes, I mean, the two areas that I do most of my work in is marketing applications, which is why I run a network like this, and the other is with startups. So yes, EO.
The
would be a
EOs,
good place to
and
start.
it's not the accelerator group, the EO. There's two groups in EO. There's
Right.
accelerator.
Accelerator, smaller companies, right?
Accelerator is not for you, but the EO, absolute EO, you might want to reconnect with Betty, not Betty, with Debbie Ketera, because right now
Okay.
she's the president of EO. So you might want to send her another, like, hello, what's doing? Because there's a lot going on there and she's got her pulse on it.
Okay, I will do that. So I think we got everybody. I don't think I left anybody off, right? Okay, and it looks like Stacey had to jump, I guess. We have about 15 minutes. If anybody wants to bring up a topic that we can discuss, they want to brainstorm.
Yeah, I have a question. What's EO?
Oh,
It's Entrepreneurs Organization.
Entrepreneurs
oh,
Organization.
okay.
It's a peer-to-peer group where a lot of business owners get together, and there's all sorts of individual chapters, and each chapter has its own rules and regulations, and they're pretty close knit. And when people join EO, they join for quite an extended period of time. So they're very close knit, and because it's entrepreneurial organizations, they really are entrepreneurial, and they go and they, whatever, they're on the cutting edge and God knows how many things. And right now, blockchain and NFT is, as I said, it's like sex,
area, yeah.
the sexiest word in the entire, vocabulary right now. And I think if they knew of people that would really be available for them like that, I think it'd be a goodie for you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Any other questions, comments, brainstorming?
Well, yeah, this is David. Oh, do you want to go first,
David.
Stacey?
That's okay. David, go ahead.
LinkedIn prospecting has come up. I mentioned this to Michael, and I thought it was like looking for a new sales intelligence tool, because I've been using LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's okay. It's great that you can get connected to your first connections, and you can say, hey, Michael, Jennifer, would you be open to making an introduction? But there's a piece missing in that pie where I know where Jennifer works, but I don't know everything about her company, like, the annual revenue and the employees and all that. So I'm being directed to sign up for Zoom Info. It's not Zoom like this is, it's called Zoom Info, which is a database essentially of companies and all the details about them. And I'm wondering, is anyone else using something like that? Or are they using LinkedIn Sales Navigator? Or are they working with someone that does LinkedIn prospecting that's either teaching them how to do this? Because we only mostly get word of mouth stuff. So yeah.
I might have to lead for you with LinkedIn. LinkedIn, if you're very proficient on LinkedIn, there is a way to look up how large the organization is and how many employees they have and where they're located. It's in the profile.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's on LinkedIn, but it's not on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is weird. So like, why do I need LinkedIn Sales Navigator if I can just look that up on LinkedIn?
Yeah, sometimes you have to go back and forth, and they do have a button on LinkedIn Sales Navigator that says go to the person's profile on LinkedIn. Yeah, sometimes you have to go back and forth. So yeah. I do know somebody, actually, he's a member of this group, who does teach the use of Sales Navigator. Yeah, his name is Julbert, Julbert.
He's
Abraham,
great.
And it's Abraham Global AGM. Abraham Global Media. Yeah, if you look under, I think, AGM, or if you want, Julbert is an unusual name. So if you look him under on LinkedIn, or you just ping me, I'll give you his contact information.
Yeah, and it's spelled Julbert.
Right.
David, have you priced out Zoom Info?
Not yet. I got to call them. I just used it.
Hold on to your hat.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I think Zoom Info is more than, it's like a 5-figure investment from what.
Yeah.
From what
they merged with data.com. It's very expensive.
Yeah.
So
David, what I would suggest for you is like, are you just trying to get the company's like revenue data, or like anything else that you're looking for, like other things too?
Yeah, no, I can tell. I mean, I've got a pretty good eye on a startup and how well it's doing, kind of how they show themselves on the web and talk about themselves. I just need like, okay, are they 10 to 50 people? Are they 2 to 5 million in VC and just like that kind of stuff where it takes the time.
Seamless AI.
Right, that kind of info. So
Seamless, yeah.
that's
Rajiv,
yeah.
Seamless
So
AI is a lot less expensive. I shouldn't say my son works with Zoom Info, but I can't even get a thing. But anyway, but Seamless AI is less expensive than Zoom Info.
Okay.
And they do something interesting. They find a lot of more. They find real-time information about companies. Based on a criteria. I forget that you could get a free demo for them, and they'll give you like 100 free credits, so you could test it out too.
I would think, David, and I think I mentioned it to you, there's a couple of companies, Crunchbase being one of them,
I was
that
going to say
focus
Crunchbase.
specifically
Okay.
on information about startups and
Crunchbase
venture
was
funded
pretty good.
companies.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
mentioned that one, Michael. I appreciate that one. That was
Yeah.
like on the top of my list because they have so much information on startups.
But Crunchbase
Yeah,
itself, you have to, the startup has to put their own information in. They don't really validate it or get the information. So I don't know how accurate it is.
David, you could also try using LexisNexis because that is a service that most libraries have a license for. So if you have your local library card, you could actually use the database for free remotely, and those databases are really extensive. So
They have everything except for
Yeah.
your blood type. They have, they dig into all, and you can look yourself up. You'd be amazed or shocked or appalled.
Yeah, I
how
just
much
did
they
that
have
on Dun
about
and
you.
My
Bradstreet.
blood type, then I'm going to worry about it.
I just looked myself up on Dun and Bradstreet. You should all.
Yeah,
look
that too.
Dun and Brad.
That
That's
too.
pretty. That's
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
wild.
DNB, I find for smaller companies, they take a swag at their revenue. It's difficult to find that information. But I like to look at LinkedIn and see how many employees are on LinkedIn, in the company to get a sense for how big it is. That's one way. It also tells you where the people are located. And you do have to do a little bit of sleuthing because a lot of times the people show up and they're really not affiliated with the company, or they're loosely affiliated with the company. They're not necessarily employees.
Yeah.
Hey, David,
Yeah,
one last thing. I'll put it in the chat if you want, but a friend of mine is the CEO of a company in Zambia, Africa. They pay the folks $6 to $7 an hour, and they use and this is good for them.
That's like 70,000 or something over there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They use an AI tool that mines data for whatever criteria you give them. Their average invoice is $100.
Oh, wow.
So, and they're amazing. They're incredible. I've used them. I've been buying mailing lists on databases for 30 years, and Michael's company, the company is amazing.
That's great.
You put that in
Can you
the,
put that in the chat?
yeah, put that in the chat, pretty.
Yes,
You're
yes.
getting us all very excited.
Okay.
I love it.
I'll
Ideas are being shared. That's awesome.
Yeah.
David, one more suggestion for you, and because I've done a lot of code outreach, so sometimes it's tough to find info about my prospects just from like LinkedIn. So one thing I did that worked pretty well is you can actually get people on Fiverr who has access to Zoom info to find the details for you. So especially if you already have the list of people that you want that contact, just like go to Fiverr, make a job posting, and I'll just like pay them on like a per successful lead found basis. So it's like, let's say if they can't find info about this lead, you don't pay them. And if you do, you only pay them like 20 cents a lead. So
20 cents a lead?
Yeah,
Wow.
20 cents a lead.
Great idea. Thanks, dude.
Oh my God, is that nothing?
Wow.
Yeah, so we found thousands of leads this way, from their emails to their revenue range, their employee range, their LinkedIn, Instagram, and everything. So whatever you need, you can get it from them.
That's a full-time job in itself. Gosh, I also have to run business.
Yeah, Newton is amazing at using offshore virtual assistants and leveraging. I think you said you have several VAs running at the same time, right?
Yeah, I have a team for just finding the leads, and then I have a team for just reaching out to people on like cold email and LinkedIn and all these platforms.
I just stuck Michael's contact info in the chat.
Yep, got it. Michael O'Hara, CEO, managing partner, and you can obviously use
Impact
his calendar.
Enterprises.
Impact Enterprises. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
By the way,
Make sure you use my name so he knows who the heck it came from. Not that it's gonna matter, but you know, he's gonna wonder where the lead came from, David, or
Yeah.
anyone else that calls him.
Thanks, Mark.
Sure.
absolutely. It's always
That
good
was
to get.
really powerful. Thanks, folks. I mean, sharing information like that is just a real, I mean, that's equally zippity doo does the actual lead. It's very helpful. So thank you.
Absolutely. And it sounds like a couple of you are going to connect. I think Rochelle and Newton and some other people we're going to connect. So that's what this is all about. Gives you a chance to meet a couple of people in the marketing world who are independent, and we can put our heads together and help each other out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So,
Michael,
go ahead.
quick question. So what's the new schedule for TRN?
So it is Tuesday evenings at 5 and Wednesday mornings at 11. I switched it up.
Okay.
Because
Oh, it's back to Wednesdays and not, oh, it's okay.
both.
I-
It alternates. So one week it's Tuesday evening at 5. The next week it's Wednesday morning at 11. The next week. So it's, if you go to the events calendar on trustref.net, you'll see it there. You will also see it on the sign up sheet. So the showcase sign up sheet has the list of all of the dates. And also when you go to the to register, it says, at least for that, if you're registering on Tuesday, it'll show all the Tuesdays in 2022. And if you go to Wednesdays, of course, it'll show all the Wednesdays in 2022. And we just alternate weeks.
Well, Michael, I got a thing from TrustRef about approving my storefront or whatever. Did you update
Your listing?
my listing? Yeah.
Yeah, it may have expired, but I think I probably approved it. Check to see if it's up. If it's not, let me know.
Okay. I was just surprised. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, so everybody has right now a perpetual 6-month trial. When I have the new system up, I'll extend that again for probably 6 months. And then after that, people will start paying for subscription, which will be about $360 a year for a basic listing and membership and, participation in these meetings. And by the way, we are also adding, we're in collaboration with Serial Marketers, which is David Berkowitz's company, or his Slack channel and website. We're doing a monthly presentation, a little bit more, it's more focused on the content, on what's new in marketing. And that will be every third Wednesday of the month. The first one being February 16th at 5 p.m. Yeah, so we're looking for speakers who have something to talk about that's new in marketing, that people might be interested in.
Are you gonna, I'm assuming you'll send something out on that, won't you?
I definitely will be doing it. The person who is speaking on the 16th, we have to finalize what exactly she's going to talk about. She's been with the ANA, American, what is
Marketing
ANA?
Association.
National Advertisers, Association of National Advertisers, I think,
Oh.
for many, many years. And now I think she's off on her own. So I think it's more about sort of, we'll see. We'll see what it's going to be about. I haven't really decided. I don't want to put.
Michael, so this week it's Tuesday evening at 5. So that means next week it's Wednesday morning.
Yes. at
And
11.
then the week after that, it's Tuesday evening again.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I alternate to make it difficult for everybody. No, I alternate.
He catches on so quickly, doesn't he, Michael?
Yeah.
It's
So
amazing.
it's a filter. It's sort of, people who don't understand that shouldn't be part of them. Just kidding.
The great
All right,
qualifier.
David has to leave. Thank you all. Yeah, no, the reason is because some people, if I have it at the same time every week, some people have a standing meeting and, they just won't be able to attend. So I want to provide at least 2 different times. And I alternate for that reason.
Awesome.
Great, everyone.
Michael.
So look out for the next invite and my newsletter, which is basically what's going on and a post and a link to this meeting.
Wonderful.
Thanks,
all.
Thank you.
everyone.
Good to see everyone.
See everyone.
Thank
Take care.
you. Have
Bye.
a great night.
Bye.